Dear brothers and sisters, it is me, Dr. Bright Tudemezwe, with you again today. I speak to you, my dear brothers and sisters in diaspora, from a place of truth, urgency, and hope. We are scattered across continents, Europe, North America, Asia, the Middle East. But our hearts remain tied to the continent and land that shaped us all. We are far, yet we are not gone. We are distant, yet we are not detached. We stand in a moment that demands clarity, a moment that calls for us all to rise, a moment that echoes the ancient story of Prophet Nehemiah in biblical times. Nehemiah was far from Jerusalem when he heard the cry of his people. He listened. He did not turn away. Diasporan Africans, we too can hear the cry of our people, the people of our continent, through family calls, news reports, and daily stories of corruption, insecurity, and broken system. This is the moment to hear the cry of our people home in Africa. Let us not normalize the pain. Let us not scroll past their suffering. Awareness, as I bring to you today, is the beginning of our responsibility as Africans in diaspora worldwide and as African Nehemiahs. Nehemiah wept, he mourned, but he did not stop there. Diaspora Africans, our grief must not become paralysis. Let it become a fuel for action. Let it become resolve for action. This is the time to mourn, then move to the next stage, which is action. Our sorrow must become strategy. Our compassion must become commitment. Nehemiah served in the Persian palace, far from home. He had perfectly positioned himself to help. We too can also position ourselves because we have the education, we have the networks, we have the stability and global access. These are not personal trophies. They are continental assets. Hence, this is the moment to recognize our strategic position and placement. Nehemiah used his influence, to secure resources and authority, diasporan Africans can also do the same by supporting independent media, strengthen civic institutions, mentor leaders, and begin rebuilding the system as Nehemiah began rebuilding the wall. Also, this broadcast is also a call for us to access our leverages where we are. Our distance from home gives us safety. Where we are also gives us power. African broken walls are not made of stone, as the walls of Jerusalem. They are made of weak institutions, corruption, insecurity, and failed governance. Nehemiah rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem. We must rebuild Africa in the form of walls of justice, walls of accountability, and the walls of opportunity. This is the time to rebuild the walls of Africa. Nehemiah faced mockery, sabotage, and threats. So must we, as African diasporans and African Nehemiahs, we too must face resistance from those who profit from the disorder, who profit from the broken walls of justice, accountability, opportunity, and equal opportunity. Hence, we must experience resistance. And of course, as we all know, resistance and opposition is a proof that our work matters, or will matter. Nehemiah acted from exile before returning home to Jerusalem. Diaspora Africans do not need to relocate to contribute. Our vantage point abroad is strategic. Hence, we can see clearer than people back home, speak more freely than people back home, and act safely than people back home. This is the reminder to understand that our distance from Africa is not a detachment with our beloved continent. Our exile or sojourn in foreign land is not and should not be an escape. Rather, it should be an opportunity, a privilege, a vantage point, as was Nehemiah in his time. Our remittances, which is in billions of dollars yearly, only help our immediate families. It doesn't help the institutions of governance, nor justice, nor opportunity in our continent. But know it that only strong institutions, appropriate institutions, working institutions can transform a nation and so our continent. That is, our continent can only begin to work as we find in Europe, in North America, in some Asian countries, only when institutions become viable, functional, and delivering. Hence, from here, we must plan to invest in schools, civic groups, anti-corruption bodies, develop leadership pipelines, and technological infrastructures. This call to become an African Nehemiah is a call to build what will outlast us all, unto generations yet unborn. It should become a legacy to leave behind. A program, a process that will continue without us. Be rest assured that when Africans abroad act individually, they help. But when we decide to act collectively, we transform. Africa as a continent, the poorest, the continent that is not on the table of the world, but on its menu. Can only be transformed by our collective, unified, purposeful action. Hence, we must coordinate resources, unify advocacy, support reformers, and challenge the corrupt system. Hence, this is a clarion call to turn African diasporans, African Nehemiahs, into a powerful force for good for our beloved continent. We are not scattered. I repeat, African diasporans are not scattered. Rather, we are all strategically positioned for strength, for power that delivers. Nehemiah was not a prophet, priest, or king. He was an ordinary man with extraordinary resolve. Diaspora Africans do not need titles to lead. What we need is conviction. We need clarity. We need courage. Once again, I do hereby invite us all to become African Nehemiahs. My dear brothers and sisters, Africa's future will not be shaped by those who watch from afar, but by those who rise from afar. We are not powerless. We are not even distant. And we are not spectators either. We are Nehemiahs, indeed African Nehemiahs, strategically placed, historically positioned, and morally compelled to gather and act. Let us rise. Let us rebuild Africa. Let us answer the call of our generation. Thanks a million for your time and attention. I remain your brother and an African Nehemiah, Dr. Bright Udemezue.